Hello friends, and welcome back to the Young Minds Unplugged. So in this week's episode, we're going to discuss about something which is very important for the child's growth. We're going to talk about the family culture. The family, like what we see in today's age, there are two types of families. Right from the beginning, we have known about the joint family and we've also known about the nuclear family. But in the past few years, of course, there have been more increase in the nuclear families, and of course people are not that much in the joint family. But still, what effect does this kind of a culture have on the kids, on their growing up, on their belief system, on they becoming into whom they turn into as adults? Family plays a very important role, and at that time the behavior of the parents matter a lot, because many of the things are passed through this behavior to the child. Also, the relationships between the elders in the house, or maybe if there's a joint family and you have another unit of the family staying, that is a joint family, uncles are staying together, aunties are there staying together. So that relationship, looking and watching and observing all these relationships, how these dynamics of the various relationships, how they shape up the child, is what we are going to discuss today in this episode. So here I'm going to ask Avnish, my son here, who's sitting, and I'm going to ask you this, Avnish. So of course we are a nuclear family, no doubt about it. But you tell me, like as parents, like whatever you have seen us as parents, right? So what effect have our relationship, actually it has had on you when growing up, kind of? Maybe we have our own quarrels, we have our small fights, we agree to disagree, or maybe many a times we discuss. So can you just shed a light that how do these dynamics of our relationship, like me and your father, how have they shaped you up?
Okay, so I mean, obviously, I love you both a lot, and
Thank you.
and yeah, when we shifted to this house, I was pretty excited because I actually we used to stay in a large bungalow right before, and everybody was together. But then we took up a decision of having a more nucleated part, like being separated a little bit, and us moving here, it actually like helped. I mean, obviously, when we used to live in the giant house, I didn't feel like there was any. Obviously, there was a little bit less privacy that time. But now, as we've moved here, I have my own room, and you guys are also, doing about your own work. It's been really nice because it's been very pleasant, I would say. And yeah, and at night we have our own family time, and it's very nice. I like our times together.
Okay, but then many times me and your dad, we do quarrel, we do agree, we do disagree, rather.
Yeah.
And there are certain kind of fights that happen. And so you tell me, how does that affect you? How do you feel?
I mean, when I was younger, I used to be pretty scared. I used to usually stay in my room and sit quietly. And I don't know why, but you always had whatever quarrels you had. It used to be always at night. So never in the daytime. In the daytime, everything was fixed, and I don't know how magically overnight, what happened.
Yeah, because we have one rule. We have this rule throughout our relationship of my 24 years of marriage. I'm going to point out this here. We never ever go to sleep over a quarrel. Me and my husband, we have this rule for the 24 years. We definitely resolve it before we go to bed. That's the reason you find everything very good in the
everything
morning.
is completely fine in the morning, and I don't even try to question it. I mean, when you come over and you actually tell me, right? So what actually happened, and what I mean, that's a very important thing, that you tell me that what was exactly the problem, or why did you disagree on something. So you tell me the next morning, and I feel that, oh wow, that was a pretty dumb reason. It wasn't very serious.
Yes, so many times that happens. Yeah, that used to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, here again, one thing I would like to point out that means yes, every relationship we have our ups and downs. We do have our disagreements. We do have fights over small things, and it's okay. It's very natural in any relationship. Nothing right or wrong about it. But then it is very important that we need to also be conscious about that. When we as parents, we are disagreeing, or we are going through this kind of some disagreement or some quarrel or some fight, we also have to be very conscious that yes, the kids are observing. So the words that come out, or the actions, or what we say, or how we react, these all things we have to be very conscious. And one thing I've been following, right from when he was a child also, And when he started understanding things, I always walked up to him the next day and told him, okay, so we had this quarrel last night, me and your dad. But this was the reason, and that is how, so there was no right or wrong anywhere, but this was the reason. I used to tell him, I still tell him that, okay, I was wrong in this part and he was right, or then this is where he was stuck up, and then how he was wrong. So he really, he always tells me this, that thank you for sharing this, because this gives him a sense of, how he has to handle his relationships, or how can he handle when he, of course he's going to have his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and he's going to have these quarrels and all. So he should know how he has to handle these things. We may be living in different separate houses, but we still are very closely knit family, right?
I really love my cousins, because now that I feel that, even though we are in separate houses, I still feel that they are my real siblings.